In the fast-moving world of news, it's easy to miss the meaning between the lines. That's where we come in. Each episode, we take real headlines from Newsline Philippines and let AI break them down. Not just the what, but the why it matters.
Okay, let's get into this. We're looking at a specific news piece dated June 4th, 2025. It covers some important updates on the Philippine National Police's anti-drug campaign. So, we've gone through the source material you shared. And for this deep dive, we really want to pull out the key statements, the new initiatives, especially around human rights and legal processes. What are officials actually saying?
Right. And what jumps out right away, I think, is how deliberately officials seem to be, addressing some of the past criticisms. It feels like a very direct response to ongoing concerns, setting maybe a new tone.
Absolutely. And the first big point is from the PNP chief himself, General Nicolas Torre III. He gave this really fundamental assurance, didn't he, that police actions, especially in the drug campaign, will strictly follow legal rules and respect human rights.
Yeah, and that assurance is key because, like the source points out, it came right after the Commission on Human Rights, the CHR, had raised some flags. They were worried about an older directive, one that kind of linked performance ratings to how many drug arrests were made.
Right, so this wasn't just, a vague promise. He was directly clarifying that specific issue. Chief Torre made it pretty clear. Look, we're not pushing for shortcuts, and success isn't just about racking up arrest numbers.
Exactly. He really hammered the point about genuine lawful police work. Operating strictly within the Constitution, the rules of criminal procedure, PNP standards, all that. Which means, needing proper warrants or legitimate lawful reasons for an arrest.
So the focus shifts, doesn't it? Less on just the numbers, more on doing it right, legally. He even said something like, proving a case in court, that's the mark of a good officer.
Which is a pretty significant shift if you think about it. It moves the goalpost from just catching someone to actually getting a successful prosecution. That implies, much stronger case building from the start. And the source also mentions he confirmed their continuing training on professionalism, non-lethal methods, humane treatment, the works.
And he didn't push back on the CHR either. He reportedly welcomed their reminder, saying due process is central to everything, not just a box to tick.
Okay, so that's the PNP angle. But then you have the Interior Secretary, Benhur Abalos, kind of widening the lens. He talked about needing to stop the finger pointing, as he put it, between the police and the prosecutors.
That old problem. So he's pushing for more teamwork? Interagency collaboration?
Precisely. He sees that as the way forward. And that ties into this new initiative mentioned, TPLIA 2025. Stands for Training and Educational Program for DOJ, prosecutors, and law enforcement agents.
TPLIA 2025. Okay,
Yeah.
Launched at the DOJ, right?
Yeah, and it's pitched as this nationwide program. The whole idea is to get better coordination, better professionalism across all the key players. So you've got PNP, DOJ, the NBI, PDEA, even the Coast Guard involved. The article actually says the first group, like 100 officers and prosecutors, are already doing this joint training.
Interesting. Did Abalos say anything else about why this is needed now?
Well, you touched on public cynicism. His feeling, apparently, is that people are skeptical, partly because they don't always see the positive stuff. Like, when the DOJ actually secures convictions or the good work the Coast Guard does. It doesn't always make headlines.
So it's partly a perception issue, too.
Kind of. And he framed TPLIA as a chance to, I think the quote was, rewrite that narrative. The idea being that better collaboration leads to more successful, lawful outcomes, which hopefully starts to rebuild some of that public trust.
Okay, so let's boil this down. We're seeing these clear statements from the top of the PNP about sticking to the rules, respecting rights. And alongside that, this concrete step, this TPLIA program, to get different agencies working together better.
Right. Commitments on one hand, collaborative action on the other.
So the big question this leaves for you, listening, is probably this. You've got these stated intentions, this new training program. How does that actually translate into change you can see on the ground? And maybe more importantly, what are the biggest hurdles they still face in convincing the public that things really are different this time? Something to think about.